Good evening. Today we are going to learn about chemical properties of acids. Under acid, bases and salts, under this chapter acids, bases and salts, we are going to learn about the chemical properties of acids. So in the last session, we concluded these two things: reaction with metals, reaction with metal carbonates, reaction with metal hydrocarbonates. See, reaction metals. See, example, acid react with metal, produces metallic salt plus hydrogen gas. Yesterday we did this in last class. So for example, HCl react with sodium, produces sodium chloride plus hydrogen gas. So here is a aqueous, here is a solid, here is a aqueous, 2HCl. So 2NaCl, 2Na. So here acid react with metal, produce metallic salt and hydrogen. 2HCl plus 2Na gives rise to NaCl plus H2. So second one, reaction of metal with metal carbonates. Say acids react with metal carbonates. Metal carbonates produces metallic salt plus water plus carbon dioxide. For example, HCl react with sodium carbonate, Na2CO3, produces sodium chloride, is a metallic salt, plus water, H2O, plus carbon dioxide gas. This is the aqueous. Here is a solid. Here is an aqueous. So 2NaCl. So this is the answer. So here what happens? Acid react with the metallic carbonate, produce metallic salt, water, carbon. Here is saying we are using sodium metal, hydrogen chloride is a hydrochloric acid. So therefore metallic salt is sodium chloride. Suppose here magnesium carbonate we are taking, then you get magnesium chloride. Suppose magnesium carbonate here is a sulfuric acid, you will get the magnesium sulfate. Like that, salts will come up. Next, reaction with metals hydrogen carbonates. See, acid react with metal hydrogen carbonate. Metal hydrogen carbonate. So here the carbonate is present, so we can expect the carbon dioxide. Here also same thing, metallic salt plus water plus carbon dioxide. This is the answer. So you can see here HCl react with metallic hydrogen, sodium hydrogen carbonate, NaHCO3, produces sodium chloride plus H2O plus carbon dioxide. So here this is the reaction. So here what is the reaction itself is a balance. So here HCl acid react with sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is metallic hydrogen carbonate, producing metallic salt. This here is sodium chloride, water and carbon dioxide. Reaction with metal oxides. Reaction with metal oxides. Sorry. Acid react with metal oxide produces metallic salt plus water. salt plus water. See, for example, HCl react with metal oxide. You can say sodium oxide produces sodium chloride plus H2O, water, 2HCl, okay, 2NaCl. Here is a aqueous, here is a liquid, and here is a solid, and here is a aqueous. So you can say aqueous hydrochloric acid react with metallic oxide. So acid react with metallic oxide producing metallic salt plus water. So here 2HCl. So hydrochloric acid react with sodium oxide produces sodium chloride plus water. So now next reaction with metal hydroxide, metal hydroxide. So let us see that reaction. So fifth one is the reaction with metal hydroxide. Reaction of acid with metal hydroxide. So for example, acid react with metal hydroxide. Metal hydroxide produces metallic salt plus water. See, for example, hydrochloric acid react with metallic hydroxide. Say for example, sodium hydroxide produces sodium chloride plus water. 2HCl, 2NaCl. Right. So the reactor itself is a balance. So here what is saying? Acid react with metal hydroxide produces metallic salt and water. So hydrochloric acid react with sodium hydroxide produce sodium chloride and water. So this is the reaction with metal hydroxide. Now next one is electric conductivity. Next reaction is electric conductivity. So what happens when acid dissolved in water? Let us see that point. First of all, let us see that point. Reaction with water. Reaction with water. Here what is a reaction with water? Actually no reaction. So acid dissolved in water produces hydrogen ions and non-metallic ion. So this hydrogen ion is a positive ion, is a nothing but a cation, and here non-metallic ion is called an ion. So these are the ions are forming. That means when acid dissolved in water, when acid contact with water, the acid breaks into cations, that is positive ion and anion, negative ions, positive ions and negative ions. So let us see this example. HCl, when dissolved in water, what happens? It breaks into H ions plus chloride ion. This is non-metal. Chlorine is non-metal. Non-metallic ion means chloride ion is anion. And H plus ion is a cation. H plus ion is a cation. Now, here what happens? H plus ion further combined with water molecules. This is the reaction. Convert into H3O plus ion. It is called hydronium ion. Hydronium ion. This is called hydrogen ion. Hydrogen ion. So HCl when dissolved in water produces hydrogen ion and a chloride ion. This hydrogen ion, since it is a proton, hydrogen ion is nothing but a proton, equal to proton 1 proton. So these immediately react with the water molecule, convert into hydronium ion is a cation. It is a positive charge. Positive charge. Hydronium ions. Understand? This is the reaction with water. What is saying? When acid reacts with water, produces. What is the ultimate answer is there? Acid react with water, produces hydronium ions and halide ions. Say for example, another example, sulfuric acid when dissolved in water, what happens? Convert into hydronium ions plus sulfate ion. Here is the sulfate ion is the negative ion. So this is a ion. So you can write here is hydronium ion and sulfate ion. Here hydrogen ions, how many are there? Produces 2 hydronium ions. So you can write here is a 2H2 hydronium. So you can write 2 moles, 1 mole of sulfuric acid react with 2 moles of water, producing 2 moles of hydronium ion and 1 mole of sulfate. And like this you can find, suppose nitric acid, HNO3. So nitric acid dissolved in water, producing hydronium ion plus nitrate ion. This is the, so like this, when acids dissolved in water produces hydronium ions and non-metallic ions. All these are non-metallic ions. That means the acid molecule breaks into cations and anions in water. If water is not present, the molecules are not ionized. They are not forming cation and anion. That is the answer you can write. Okay. Now, next point, let us go to this. Another concept. Here, based upon these properties, there is one important point. Neutralization. What is meant by neutralization? What is meant by neutralization? Let us see this. Neutralization means the process in which acid is losing its properties, base also losing its properties and forming new compounds. Among these new compounds, water is important, common. Water is a common now this. So then what is saying? Neutralization means when an acid combines with, chemically combines with base producing salt and water. This is called neutralization. So neutralization means when an acid react with a base producing salt plus water. Generally this is called neutralization. What is neutralization? A process in which when an acid react with a base producing salt and water. In that neutralization process, acid losing its properties and base also losing its properties. Acid losing properties with the base losing properties with the acid, then they are producing salt, the relative salt and water. So let us see one example here. HCl, hydrochloric acid, react with sodium hydroxide. Then what happens? Produces sodium chloride plus. So you must remember, in acid molecule there is a positive part and there is a negative part. In base also, in base molecule there is a positive part and negative part. The positive part of the base react with the negative part of the acid. The positive part of the acid react with the negative part of the base. So based on this, sodium ion react with the chloride ion producing sodium chloride salt. Remaining is hydrogen ion react with OH ion producing water. So during this reaction, means during this neutralization process, some amount of heat is liberating, some quantity of heat is liberating. So it is called exothermic process. Neutralization is an exothermic process. Exothermic process means during the neutralization process, heat is liberating. Means the net amount of heat is liberating. So absorbing heat is less, liberating heat is more. So the net liberating heat is more. That's why it is called exothermic process. So in this case, breaking the acid molecules and base molecules takes some energy, that is less. Formation of the salt and water molecules liberating more energy. So the net energy is more, therefore it is an exothermic process. So understand here, neutralization means is a process of exothermic process in which when acid combines with or chemically react with a base producing salt and water, so that in the neutralization acid losing its properties with the base and base losing properties with the acid and forming the new compounds. So it is a neutralization. So neutralization process is an exothermic process. Why it is an exothermic process? Because it is liberating heat energy. It is liberating heat. That's why some quantity of heat is liberating. So generally, based on this, in the neutralization, 1 mole of water producing 17.6 kilocalorie heat is producing. Generally it is a 6 kilocalorie heat is producing in this process. Okay. So generally. So what is it? When acid react with the base producing salt and water. Salt and water. So let us see this answer. For example, sulfuric acid react with a base. Say for example, magnesium hydroxide. Producing what compound is it? Magnesium sulfate. Salt is the magnesium sulfate plus water, 2 moles of water plus some quantity of heat is liberating. Say for example, nitric acid, HNO3, when react with calcium hydroxide, producing calcium nitrate, CaNO3 taken twice, plus water, 2H2O. So you must keep in mind, here the valence of calcium is 2, hydroxide valence is 1. Here no number means equal to 1. So therefore, nitrate valence is 1, hydrogen valence is 1. So we can write CaNO3 taken twice because calcium valence is 2, nitrate valence is 1. Again here is a water. So now in all these examples, what we commonly observing, acid is reacting with base. Base is reacting with acid. That is common. Second, what is the common is salt is common and water is common. So in all categories, in all types of acids, in all types of bases, the commonly producing product is the water. So 1 mole of water, how much amount of heat liberating is called heat of neutralization. Here is 1 mole water is producing. So the heat of neutralization is much. Suppose there are 2 moles of water is liberating, then we can say it is a double. So understand here. So what is heat of neutralization? First point, neutralization is exothermic process. So because the heat is liberating during the neutralization of the acid and base. Second point, there is a heat of neutralization means the amount of heat liberating when a gram equivalent weight of an acid react with a gram equivalent weight of base producing a mole of water. That amount of heat liberating is called heat of neutralization. Heat of neutralization. Okay, now let us see, this is another one more concept here. Why it is called neutralizing? Why this process is called neutralization? Neutral means here is a commonly both are losing, means acid is losing, base is also losing. So it is called neutral. So neither acid is gaining or base is gaining. So here is one more example you can see. Hydrogen ion react with hydroxide ion producing water. What kind of reaction is this? This is also known as neutralization. This is also called neutralization. Why? Because H plus ion indicates the acid. OH ion indicates the base. So generally acids celebrate H plus ion. That's why here is H plus is acid and base is celebrating OH ions. When H plus ion react with acid means, when H plus ion react with the OH ion, hydroxide ion means acid react with the base. Nothing but acid react with a base. Acid react with the base. Therefore, what is producing? So H plus ion indicates the acid. H plus ion shows the acidic properties. Hydroxide ion, OH ions indicates the base properties. When H plus ion react with OH ions, producing water is nothing but a neutralization process. Here also acid is losing properties, base also losing its properties. Now another example. Acid react with a metal oxide. I gave already in the just a few minutes back. Acid react with metal oxide producing metallic salt and water. Metallic salt and water. So here also we can say neutralization. Why? Because in this metal oxide is acting as a base. Metal oxide is acting as a, see for example, when acid react with a base producing salt and water. Here is a salt is there, is a what is there. Acid react with, see for example, acid react with a base producing salt and water. So here what happens? When acid react with metal oxide producing metallic salt and water. So metallic salt is there, water is there, acid. Now what is metal oxide? Metal oxide is a base. Metal oxide is a base. So for example, HCl react with magnesium oxide. It is a metal oxide. Convert into magnesium chloride plus water. So magnesium chloride is a salt. Like that, HCl react with sodium oxide, for example. Sodium oxide is a metal oxide. Convert into sodium chloride plus water. See another example. Sulfuric acid is an acid. React with calcium oxide, CO. Calcium oxide is a metal oxide. Convert into calcium sulfate is a salt plus water. So in all these cases, what we observed, acids react with metal oxides producing salt and water. Therefore, metal oxides are called basic oxides. Metal oxides are called bases or basic oxide. Metal oxides are called basic oxides. Metal oxides are called basic oxides. Understand clearly? So, this is also called neutralization. All these reactions are also nothing but neutralization. Not only H plus OH react is what is a neutralization. This is also neutral because metallic oxides are acting as base like a metallic hydroxides. All metals, say for example, magnesium hydroxide, it is a base. Sodium hydroxide, it is a base. Calcium hydroxide, it is a base. So like this, these are bases. These are bases. Like this, the metallic oxides are also acting like a metallic hydroxides. So metallic oxides are called bases. They are also called bases. Okay, now next property, electric conductivity. Electric conductivity means in electric conductivity, electrons are passing through the conductor. To pass the electrons, they need presence of ions. If a positive ions, negative ions are present in this given solution or in the given medium, current passes through the medium. If ions are not present, only molecules are present, current is not passing. Current is not passing. So let us see the one activity, how it is. Just here is a one vessel, just to take 4 vessels. So in the first vessel, take the electrodes, connect these electrodes, battery, along with a bulb, Same thing, you arrange all these, same process. Instead of this one also, you can take the single experiment also. Just you replace the solutions. Here is you take the copper wires, copper rods or a graphite rods. You can, better graphite rod is a better one, of course. So you take all these one. In the first one, take the distilled water. In the second one, take the dilute hydrochloric acid, HCl. In the third one, you take the sugar solution with distilled water. And next one is the, you take kerosene. So here is a distilled water, dilute HCl, sugar solution, kerosene. Of course, if you are not taking kerosene, you take the take the kerosene. Okay, better. Kerosene. So you find that in the first case, the bulb is not glowing. The bulb not glowing. Why the bulb is not glowing? Current is not passing. Why the bulb is not glowing? Current is not passing. When current is not passing means ions are not present. That's very simple. But here, bulb is glowing. Bulb is glowing. Why it is glowing? Because ions are present. So this HCl divides into He plus ions and Cl minus ions are present. That's why here the current is flowing, bulb is glowing. Now in this case, bulb is not glowing. Bulb is not glowing means here also sugar solution do not contain ions. Sugar molecules are present, ions not present. Sugar molecules, not ions. That's why current is not passing and bulb is not glowing. Even in kerosene also, there are no ions. There are no ions. So current is not passing, so bulb is not glowing. So in all these 4 cases, you find bulb is glowing only with dilute HCl. Only with dilute HCl. Now, in the distilled water, if we add acetic acid, what happens? Now the bulb is glowing. Because ions are present, because He plus ions and acetate ions are present. So because of these ions, bulb is glowing. But in these 2 cases here, the bulb is glowing more brightly. Why? Because more number of hydrogen ions are present. Hydrogen and Cl minus ions. Ions are present more. So therefore current is flowing more and bulb is glowing more bright. But here ions are present but they are less number. Ions are present but less number. Therefore current is flowing but is less current, less magnitude current. The rate of flow of current is less. So the bulb is glowing but it is a dim light. Okay, understand? So this indicates what? This indicates acids are conducting electricity because of the formation of ions in the solution state. Formation of ions, presence of ions in solution state, they can conduct electricity in the circuit, the bulb is glowing. Second point, as the concentration of concentration of ions, H plus ions and negative ions increases, the brightness of bulb increases because the rate of flow of current is more. As the concentration of ions increases, the brightness of bulb glowing because the rate of flow of current increasing. But in other cases, bulbs are not glowing because there are no ions, just they are present only molecules, not ions, only molecules. Kerosene molecules are present. The sugar molecules are present. Water molecules are present. Therefore, current is not passing through the molecules. So for the flow of current, ions are required. Positive, negative ions are required. Since acids are producing ions in water, therefore current is passing through the solution. Okay, we'll continue the next class.